everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for joining us as we are live from the Batcave. My name is Joel. I'll be your host today. I'm your other host today,
Nathan.
Oh, bro, that was spooky. You scared me. You scared me. I'm spooked out.
I've been working on my ghost.
Any idea on the heaters this week?
So there's two are up. They're not running, but they're up. They're the ones closest to us, which is good. However, you got to plug them in. No, fun fact about the Batcave: there aren't loose sockets, just dangling about the place. So that's an issue. We kind of got to get extensions ran through the entire cave. Batman has been kind enough to do so because stonks. He's got money. But yeah, we're looking to get all of them. So we got about 7, and we got 2 set up, but they can't be plugged in because we don't have the sockets. But hopefully we will soon. And the other ones are just gonna kind of be by the entrance and just kind of scattered around, just so that we get kind of residual heat, just in, as opposed to just on us. So we don't have to turn them to full blast and be sweating. We can just kind of have all of them on, and it'd be nice and warm and nice and toasty. But we're not for today.
Still freezing for today.
You'd think after 5 episodes we'd sort that out, but hey-oh.
Oh, that's another thing. Congratulations, Nathan. You've got 5 episodes into a podcast.
Hey!
Hey! In fact, actually, it's my 5th episode of a podcast. A successful one, rather. It's Nathan's 6th. Nathan has been on someone else's podcast, and he's not a traitor. He's been on. Is it
the podcast? The podcast is called We Talk, and it's on the YouTube channel Golden Arrow Media.
Nice, great. I listened to the podcast, even though I get enough of you in my daily life.
Thank you.
You came across very well on that podcast, and he seems like a great guy. So lots of interesting talks on there. I won't spoil anything because it was a lot to do with Nathan's film form side of everything. But yeah, guys, you should definitely go check that out. If you're a fan of this podcast, you love Nathan already, so go check out that other podcast he was on this week. I've done nothing again. I've done nothing again this week. Actually, that's a lie. We have been working on JP Lee Productions' first video, and
very exciting stuff.
Suffice to say, it's already turning into a crazy cinematic journey. Even though it's supposed to be an introductory video to the channel,
it's a talking head with a narrative.
It is, yeah, sort of. That's one way to put it. A talking head implies that there will only be one set. But we'll see where that goes. Okay, shall we get into the word on the web? Nathan, this week, what is the word on the web for this week?
So, this is a bit confusing. So, first piece of news I have, it's about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Now, the source of this was like 3 months ago, but only recently have things come up. So, 3 months ago, we got the first official trailer for the Marvel What If series. And they had a kind of cool kind of like comic slideshow of like how they do the Marvel intro, but it was the What If intro. And we see like loads of different heroes on it. The news that's recently popped up is that apparently we see Tom Holland's Peter Parker as Hawkeye within the kind of animated slide. Now, this has been pretty big news. I've seen a few different people repost this, including Brandon Davis, who's quite big in the, he gets to go to all the events for free pretty much, and he does lots of news reporting on Marvel things and DC. He's a cool guy. Yeah. But he recently posted, along with other people, that this looks like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but as Hawkeye. Now, I looked at the image. To me, I can see how it could be Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Well, Peter Parker, let's say. But at the same time, I could also see how it could just be Clint Barton. So, I don't know. Yeah. But it's made pretty big news, and I just wanted to talk about that, because maybe we can talk about What If as well. Yeah, I mean, it seems likely, because they're doing lots in terms of crossing characters with other characters and crossing,
Yeah.
But, I mean, what do you think?
I'm pretty sure they're doing Peggy Carter, Captain America, and they not.
Yeah, they're doing Captain Britain, I believe. But
Is that what they're doing for the What If?
I think so.
I thought that... Is she Captain Britain?
No, but I think there's a version that is, but not traditionally, like. But I'm pretty sure that's what
say,
they're going for.
I thought she was just putting the shield on herself.
Well, I mean, she's not American, so.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right. She's probably going to be Captain Britain. Her shield is going to be made of vitanium.
You know, they have vitamin and we have vitamin. It's like vibranium. Well, no, because we've seen T'Challa as Star-Lord, which is pretty interesting.
Yes.
So, how do you think like a Peter Parker Hawkeye would work out? Because obviously, Peter Parker in this universe is still like 16, even though 5 years has passed. He's still 16 because filmmaking, Endgame,
yes,
snap, blip.
Fulmamakin. I think it'd be fine. Plus, we don't know if the snap happened in the What If universe.
Yeah, I don't think anything's canon in the What If universe. I think it's just like short stories that are never going to have like sequels to them. I think it's just like, I don't think we're ever going to see like an Avengers What If film where like it's Peggy instead of Steve and it's like Tom Holland instead of Clint. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we're going to get any team ups within What If. I think they're going to kind of be like standalone kind of episodes, kind of like what cartoons do and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think they are going to be very they're going to be very one-shot-ish.
Of course, we get a zombie Captain America as well, so
Yeah, is that just going to be Marvel Zombies though? Is that what they're doing there with the What If?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean that would be great. That would be really cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that. And I mean, hey, it's not the first time we'd have a young Hawkeye anyway, because Hawkeye's daughter takes over the mantle of Hawkeye.
Well, yeah, so in the Hawkeye series, is that still going on, by the way? Because I know they were going to do Kate Bishop, but then there was things that allegedly came out about Jeremy Renner, which, I don't know what they're doing about that. I don't know whether they're recasting, don't know whether they're just sticking with it.
I don't know.
Again,
they took a risk with taking RDJ when they took RDJ, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Disney are more open to that sort of thing with controversial actors. But I also don't know. As far as we know, it's not been cancelled. I'm pretty sure there would be a big uproar and people would have tweeted about it if it was cancelled, and I'm pretty sure I would have known. If I don't know and it has been cancelled, viewers feel free to roast me in the comments. But no, I'm pretty sure it's still up and running. Not the one I'm most interested in. I am super excited for the She-Hulk because I love things based on law and lawyers. I've watched pretty much all of Suits. I think I'm like half a season behind, which is, by the way, it's like 9 seasons. I told you I love a good trashy TV show. I love Law and Order, and most recently, what have I watched with lawyers in it? I don't know, loads. The Rookie with Nathan Fillion. Man, I bring it up like every week. So yeah, I'm really excited to see like a sort of law show, but with the twist of she's She-Hulk. You know what I mean? And also Moon Knight, because if they do the story I want them to do,
imagine we're sat down watching She-Hulk, and then just Ice-T just shows up from SVU, and they're just like,
oh my god.
So you mean like when the Hulk came in and he broke all of the stuff, and when Iron Man came in and he wrecked all the city, and then when Captain America came in and he did that, are you gonna deal with them, or do we gotta do that too? And I love I just have to make that reference because he's a man and a half.
Mate, I'm a little bit upset that we didn't watch further with our what we watched this week, because there is an episode where that man shows up.
We're gonna have to watch further at some point.
Yeah, I know. So we'll get into that later, but yeah. I'm excited for the What If series and all the new series. Moon Knight and She-Hulk, Miss Marvel as well. I like all of them. Loki as well, because I'm a massive mythology fan and I want to see where they take it.
Basically, Marvel doing stonks. Picking up the game on their TV.
Yeah,
Disney
but
Plus.
Hawkeye's like the one I'm least interested in. I mean, so I don't really mind.
Like, I've never disliked Hawkeye. I've never gone, Hawkeye should die. Like, how he did survive Endgame, who knows? But that's not, like, I'm not annoyed that he did. You know, because what they did with
I'm a little bit.
what they did with his family arc was pretty cool. But I say pretty cool, but let's say cute. But like I just feel like
I
they're
don't
milking
get
him
the
a bit
whole
now.
I'm gonna shave most of my head off, have like look like my hair's been cut by the government. And
I don't know
and
why they
get-
hyped up
yeah.
Roman if immediately after coming back to Avengers HQ he was just gonna be Hawkeye again.
Yeah, you know what I think about Hawkeye, and this is probably my own fault because of my hang-ups with certain comic book characters. Batman and Iron Man, I love them both, and stuff. But when we talk about like arrows and archers and things like that, there's only one person I'm looking at, and that's Green Arrow. Do you know what I mean? Hawkeye's just like a really bad Green Arrow to me.
I thought you
There's
meant
nothing
Taron Egerton's
unique
Robin
about
Hood.
him.
Bad film.
That film. Oh boy. Yeah, we shouldn't even watch that. We should just do a what we didn't watch because it's a bad film. No, we'll probably watch some bad films. We watched Bloodshot for God's
I love
sake.
good old Taron Egerton as well. Like sort of.
He's a good lad. It's not his fault that film was in shambles.
This
Tim
is,
Minchin was in that as well.
This is not something that's a word on the web, but just to bring it up, they're doing a live action Disney Robin Hood now. So it's the Fox, but live action as Robin Hood.
Oh, furries are gonna have a field day.
But like the amount of like things you see of like women being like, "Oh, that fox does wonders for me, bro." Imagine them bringing the man to life. They're gonna be like, "Oh,
no.
my Jesus!"
I can't. I refuse to believe that this is going to be a thing. It's going to be like that whole Zootopia craze when like half of like America became furries because they like the film Zootopia. I've got a word on the web. It's a web word, a word on the web. It's to do with Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, big news recently.
Yes, so obviously that has been confirmed that it's coming to HBO Max now.
And I'm so annoyed because we talked about it in the last podcast and we had filmed it on the Tuesday and I'm like, I'm pretty sure tomorrow, the Wednesday obviously, I'm pretty sure tomorrow it's going to get announced. And then it did and I was like, oh, we've already filmed the podcast now.
Yeah, you just wait one more day. But that would have been an editing nightmare for me, so it's alright. Yeah, we're lazy on this podcast. No, but so a bunch of things that has come out since. There was so this bit of word on the web is just gonna be an update on everything. A nice thing though, Ray Fisher, the person that plays Cyborg in that film, which I think is amazing, by the way, and didn't get enough screen time in the original one, so hopefully he gets a lot more in this one. Ray Fisher sends out a massive thank you to the fans for getting the Snyder Cut back up. It was obvious that he couldn't really say the thank you before, because like the thing is with the Snyder Cut is realistically what DC has done here, and in my opinion, I don't know if it's for the best, is they've encouraged bad fan behavior.
Yeah.
They've gone, well, if you complain enough, then we'll give in to you and we'll give you what you want, even if it's not,
bro, you say
going
they
to
encouraged
finance.
it. Sonic did the same, as kind of did Cats, because obviously they kind of did another re-release like a few days after the initial one with better VFX.
I don't think it's the same as Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't think it was the same as the release the Snyder Cut movement. I think with Sonic, they released a trailer and people went, Jesus Christ, this is going to be bad. And then the filmmakers went, oh, you think so? And then changed how Sonic looks. And everyone was like, oh my God, this might not be bad.
Is that not the same context? But the film came out and they were like, Jesus Christ, that was bad. And then they were like, you think so? And then like 5 years later, Snyder Cut.
Well, yeah, but like what I mean is like the fans didn't have any control over like the release over it, and they technically don't have any control this time. But it's giving into to things like the fan behavior. Like I saw one thing on Twitter which was like, everyone thinks this is a bookend to Zack Snyder's DC universe, whereas the real release the Snyder Cut movement knows this is just the beginning. So, and then there was comments like, what do you mean this is just the beginning? This is going to be him coming back and doing his director's vision of the film, plus during quarantine and stuff, and we don't know how long that's going to last. We don't know if there's going to be time for reshoots. So we don't know if it's going to be his original vision anyway. Hang on, I'll just finish this up. So it doesn't know if it's going to be his original vision anyway. And then the commenter said, there are fans, and I would assume a lot of the fans who were pushing for release the Snyder Cut, that want to see Zack Snyder's whole vision. Because there was originally plans for like a Justice League 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing as well. Like, so moving forward, are they going to pretend the movie that came out theatrically didn't happen? Are they going to pretend the Snyder Cut didn't happen? Like, that's what I did. Like,
well, the original plan, I'm pretty sure, was to pretend that the Justice League didn't happen. Have Wonder Woman have its own, have Aquaman have its own, Shazam have its own, and then eventually, if, you know, the other heroes wanted to come back and do a Justice League thing, it would be a lot later on. They were focusing on singular projects rather than bringing everyone together again. But I don't know what this means for the future. But I don't think DC are saying here, this is what I mean. It's really, like, hard to get your head around, because I don't think DC is saying Zack Snyder's back in for everything, right? Because he might not even want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like they're saying, hey, we're in quarantine right now. We can't make any more content, but we've got hours of footage and a fan base that needs this director, or not even needs, but wants desperately for this director to show his vision of all this footage. If we give him the footage and maybe a tiny bit of budget to make the movie exactly how he wanted it to look and how his vision did it, that's going to be a lot cheaper and a lot better than, you know, what our other alternative options are now. Quarantine is probably one of the biggest reasons this is happening, because they've got hours worth of footage and people are willing to watch the same movie over again if Zack Snyder is the person directing.
But not only that, because, like, people are saying that it's either going to be, and I don't know how they work this out math-wise, right? But they're saying it's either going to be a 4-hour-long movie or a 6-hour-long series, and it's like, how can there be a 6-hour-long series if it's only going to be a 4-hour-long movie? That just means they're using extra footage.
I think it's like they've got so much footage for it that they could do, like, I believe I heard something like they could do all the Batman stuff for one episode, or like the stuff they filmed, all the Wonder Woman things for one episode, all the Superman things for, well, not even Superman, but like all the other things for one episode. Then they all come together.
Well, let's see.
Then they do the Superman stuff. Then they have the
because, like you said as well about like solo movies. The first solo movie we had was Man of Steel, right? Superman came first. Batman never got a solo movie, because in his solo movie also had Superman and Wonder Woman, right? Yes. And even the Flash. Then after that we had Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman had a solo movie. Then
Batman was supposed to.
Well, yeah. Suicide Squad, obviously, you know, that never tied in, other than the Flash and Batman showing up. Then Justice League happened. Obviously, Aquaman hadn't had his solo movie. The Flash, still don't know what's going on with the Flash. Still haven't got a director. Still haven't got a rewrite, whatever.
It's
and obviously
actively
Cyborg,
worked on.
Even when they were planning to have everyone to have a solo movie, Cyborg wasn't. Cyborg was going to show up in the Flash, because obviously Star Labs.
Yeah.
So I don't think they ever really had an idea of what they were going to do in terms of telling each character's story, because we met the Flash and we kind of, you know...
So here's the thing. Zack Snyder's Justice League. So this is the news that I was going to go into with the word on the web. Zack Snyder's Justice League originally had a lot more in it than Joss Whedon's. So he had more characters, including Martian Manhunter, who had already been cast from the Man of Steel film. I'm pretty sure it's Man of Steel. Or maybe it's not Man of Steel, it's already been cast from Batman vs. Superman. But they had a person that was going to play Martian Manhunter. I don't know if they ever did make him play Martian Manhunter, or if the CG was ever done for that. But that was in the original vision. The original vision also may have had Green Lantern in it. And it definitely had Darkseid in it.
Right.
So there was a lot more to Zack Snyder's version than what we got with the Joss Whedon version. I'm not sure if the family that we follow throughout is what was replacing that, because I'm not sure if that was Joss or Zach's idea to put that in the first place.
Was like...
But that really took away from the film instead of adding like a dramatic family element. Well, I get you're trying to show the human element of what happens when superheroes and villains fight, but like do that for 5 seconds, right?
Well, then
why
show like not even that like. Obviously, it's not as much as family per se, but show Barry's dad in prison, because obviously, like, show more of that if you need to get a civilians aspect, because not only
I don't know, because that's a slippery slope, because that person's still connected to a superhero in some way. I think what they're trying to say is that these people aren't connected. Yeah, but it's like it's still his dad, right? If you're the dad of the Flash, you're not unconnected to superhero-ness.
All right, fair enough. But all right then. Well, still, let's say they did choose another family, right? The whole, even though they were showing this whole family, realistically, it was that little girl that was the main.
Yeah.
You know, even when she was getting the bug repellent, like, and then the whole idea was at the end was Flash like saving them, like, you know, pushing the car away, and like.
Yeah, it wasn't paced well either.
But there was a massive thing going on. Superman was saving an entire building block, yeah, like an entire like block of flats, you know, apartment building. Well, he saved one family with no significance in a car, and it's like the only reason these have any form of significance is just because we've been following them. Other than that, you know, nothing special.
No, I completely agree. The family element was a bit weird, but the fact that Zack Snyder had such a grander scale for stuff were in his original vision, but this was all stuff from back then, right? We don't know if this is his vision now, and we don't know if his directors, you know, release the Snyder Cut thing is what the fans think it is, because the Snyder Cut's not done. It was never going to be done. It wasn't like he was still working on the film while Joss was working on the film. He didn't get to make the film he wanted to make. Yeah. Now, they're giving him the option to come back to the film with like resources. Don't get me wrong, I don't know how big the resources they're giving him are, but he's coming back to the film, and his vision may have changed.
Yeah, I think in terms of resources, I think it's definitely more towards visual effects / possible, because like apparently lots of stuff was just green screen stuff, you know, and like previs. But you know, Gal Gadot, if they need to reshoot, odds on she'll come back. Jason Momoa, odds on she'll come back. It's Ben Affleck.
Henry Cavill seems to be positive towards this sort of stuff as well. Like we were unsure whether that man was going to play Superman anymore at one point, but I don't know. I don't know whether The Witcher is doing well or something, but that seemed like his big jump onto something else.
He's getting ready as soon as like they can go out and film again. He's getting ready for season 2.
Yeah, so that seemed like his thing, that he could jump onto something else and he wouldn't have to be Superman anymore. And he's really passionate about The Witcher because he's read the books and stuff. But recently he's been really positive about the Superman stuff, and like I think it's looking good that he is still going to be Superman.
I just think he has a really nice connection with Zack Snyder, and he's just willing to
to do that for him.
Do you think, because obviously Ben Affleck, he left the role of Batman, he kind of said, I don't want to do it anymore. Do you think that this whole Snyder Cut is going to draw attention away from Robert Pattinson's Batman? Do you reckon that it's not going to get the light it deserves because of Snyder Cut?
I think what it might do is it might grow a feud of people who would rather have Zack Snyder's vision for the DC universe follow out versus what the corporate siders have already decided on. So there will be people who are like, I'm ready for Pattinson, and like this is going to be something new and a different universe. And then there are going to be people like, I don't want this Pattinson movie, I want the original Ben Affleck Batman movie.
Well, yeah, because this is the thing, because obviously Joker's standalone, Batman's even more standalone, that's not even connected with Joker. Like, they're kind of just doing individual movies now.
Well, that's the thing, and to be honest, that's how Marvel started, and that's how everyone else started. Like, fair enough, they did an early crossover with Marvel, but Justice League was too early, and like they were focusing on building a universe before they even had enough good movies to build it upon. You know what I mean? Man of Steel was a brilliant movie, but it wasn't enough to build a Justice League film on.
They made Man of Steel, and then they saw what Marvel were doing, and they were like, right, Suicide Squad, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, they're all gonna, even though BVS and Suicide Squad was, I believe, 2016, and then 28 was Wonder Woman 2018 or 2017? I think it was 2017, wasn't it?
Yeah, Wonder Woman was 2017.
Yeah, so they kind of came out together, which Wonder Woman was pretty good. But we'd already seen Wonder Woman in 2016 in Batman vs Superman, and then suddenly the next film after that, bam, Justice League, 2017 November-ish, and like it was cool, but also, you know, then we had Aquaman, which should have come before Justice League, and Aquaman was so good.
Yeah.
So like, if we had seen that first, then maybe Justice League could have been better.
I don't think so. I think it was doomed to be a mess. One, because of the directorial vision was interrupted halfway through, and two, because it was not that it was always going to be too early. It was that they were pushing for a Justice League film when, you know, we needed to see more from these characters. Like Iron Man 2, in like a lot of people's opinion, is still a better film than some of the films that Marvel have released since. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it had strong foundations. Iron Man is still better than Iron Man 2, but like, it had the strongest of foundations to work upon. I don't think Man of Steel was pretty strong, but I don't think any of the other stuff was strong enough. They killed Superman off way too early. Like, why are you trying to do the death of Superman story when we don't even have a deep connection with the people around him? We can't feel the loss of Superman because we don't know this Superman well enough. Like, I can't feel the connection to him. I can't feel the thing that he's Krypton's last son, and he's letting his race down, and he's leaving his cousin Supergirl all alone in the world to fend off, and these new Supermen are coming from nowhere, all trying to replace him all at once. Like, none of that. The death of Superman story, the real raw death of Superman story, the really good one, none of that was explored. No. It was just, yeah, let's kill him off and bring him back. Maybe he'll have a black suit. Maybe he doesn't. You know what I mean? Which he doesn't, but that's another thing that Zack Snyder had in his vision. Apparently, Zack Snyder wanted the black suit.
Do you think, because obviously this time around, we're not going to have the dodgy mustache CG.
I think that's going to be ripped out altogether. Yeah. I think any scenes with that in it, it'll be ripped out altogether, or there'll be reshoots.
The original opening with it's like Superman on like some kid's phone.
Yeah,
that was never. So that was 100% Josh. That was never going to be in the original cut.
Yeah.
So,
I think if Zack's given enough budget or enough enough resources, he'll get that either redone with like facial 3D tracking, so they'll, instead of getting him on set, they will get him to say the lines again, get his natural face movements, 3D track them, get them all in there, get the paw stretching, the real CG people to go in and put that brand new 3D tracked mapped face over the awful half of his face is CG, half of his face is not CG, and like that's only ever going to be in movement anyway. So it's like, there's no way he keeps the dodgy CG in. Any CG that gets stuck in this film from before is going to either be redone or it's going to be like really finely cut, so it's not going to be as bad as before, because that was a massive backlash from this film.
Well, the scene when he's like topless and the Justice League are fighting him, he didn't have the mustache then, did he? I don't think he did.
What I think they reshot some of that, and he does.
Right. Okay. Oh, so it was all the
Yeah.
reshoots that he had the mustache in, was it?
Yeah, so it was
Right,
everything
okay.
after because basically he had a contract with Mission Impossible, and Mission Impossible were like, you can't shave this off for the reshoots.
Yeah.
Like, if you do, you break contract with us. And like, Warner Brothers were like, hey, we will pay to have a CG mustache put on him. But they were like, nah. If you want to do reshoots with him, you do it, but you're going to have to CG the mustache off. And then they like literally did that instead of just giving Superman a beard.
Well,
Which, by the way, spoiler alert, in the death of Superman, he comes back with a beard. Just
well,
get
that's
him
the
to
thing,
grow
like,
the rest
what's
of it
wrong-
out.
One, what's wrong with him having this mustache, like, overall? But two, it's like...
Well, the mustache he was going to have was awful, because it's like the villain mustache from Mission Impossible. It's like really like a short one.
We've seen from Aquaman, granted he was underwater, but they can do pretty good hair simulation.
Yes,
So-
yes.
It probably wouldn't have looked that bad if they did a CG mustache on. Granted, I'd prefer, a real mustache,
Yeah.
but it's a lot easier to put something on than take something off.
No, yeah, I agree. And but it's just Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible wouldn't budge. They had a firm contract, and they were like, "Look, we don't care how much money you're trying to throw at us to get this done. We're not breaking contract. He comes back with that mustache, or otherwise he's broken contract with us."
Yeah.
So basically, Mission Impossible were being asses. And then we had dodgy CG. But I mean, also, Joss, work with what you've got instead of doing what you did, because that was awful.
Yeah, because surely is like... Obviously, you should always... It's always good for the director to be able to do what he wants to do as opposed to follow someone else's rules, right? But
Yeah.
if Snyder had... If it was that Snyder said, I don't want to do this anymore, and then Josh picked it up, fair enough. But it wasn't that situation. He was pretty much like any normal person would have stepped down, considering the circumstances. So like surely there was things written out, because obviously like people who worked on The Force Awakens who spoke with Kevin Smith, they knew what was going to happen. So it was obviously talked about. It was written down somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. There must have been like meetings, like a trade-off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not to use like real life analogies that the audience won't get, but like a Nicola Laura trade-off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There must have been something like that. And it's strange that things went as badly as they did, and like weren't handled as well as they did. And I wonder whether that was pressure from the studio to just release the film.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's some things that were like when, and a lot of people felt this way. But when I saw that they were giving the Flash blue lightning, I was like, "Oh my, why? No, stop!" Like I know he gets, like I know in some versions he has it, but why blue? Now I have no issue with it. In fact, I don't like it more, but like they're two separate Flashes, and I like
still don't like it.
I don't mind. I know like. If I got
he's based off a comic book character that's main theme is red and yellow, and you've made a film in which his main theme is crimson and white.
Well, this is the thing. The reason I don't mind it, especially now that we've seen him cross over with TV show Flash, is that we know that the color of the lightning is dependent on speed. So blue lightning.
But that's only in the TV
shows
version.
But like in terms of like fan theories and what fans want to believe, you can easily just say, right, that Flash is faster, so his lightning is blue. Like I don't mind it. Granted, again, like I said, I would have liked orange lightning, like orange yellow lightning, but I don't have as much of an issue with the blue as I did, because at first I was like, no.
I don't know. It throws a spanner in the works for me, because what if they wanted to do things like Cobalt Blue or Savitar? The original Savitar, I mean, not the one we got in the TV show. Like, if they wanted to do Cobalt Blue, Savitar, if they wanted to do Zoom, if they wanted to do other things, like, it doesn't make sense for the Reverse Flash to have red lightning and a yellow suit if he has red suit and blue lightning.
Like, just say he's taken Velocity 9 or something, and just make his lightning orange.
I don't know.
They can clean it up. I would have preferred it being simple from the get-go, like, but...
I think they need to change it, but then they probably won't.
Imagine
this
we see
is the
Snyder
thing.
Cut
I
now
don't
and
mind
it's changed.
him as the Flash, but I mind what they've done with him as the Flash. I like the actor. I just don't like everything else.
Well, that's the thing. There's been controversy with the actor recently because apparently he's done some dodgy stuff. But again, that's just everywhere at this point.
Yeah, celebrities do dodgy things all the time. We
interview-
thought Johnny Depp was an awful person for ages. Turns out he was in a spousal abusive relationship with his wife, who was the abuser. People can misjudge situations.
Exactly, and especially with the Ezra Miller, because there was an interview where he was asked about Grant Gustin and all that, and he was just like, "No, I'm not jealous. I just think it's so cool. I'm the Flash, Grant Gustin's the Flash. We get to be two different Flash. You get to see loads of different Flashes. I'm the Flash.
Yeah.
Grant Gustin's the Flash. But all the do you know what I mean? He was he was very excited.
I'm the Flash. Grant Gustin's the Flash. Jay Garrick's the Flash.
But no, he was
Henry Allen's the Flash.
He was very excited, and he was he
Yeah.
was really pumped to be the Flash, bro.
Yeah, no, I super like that, and he was one of those people that went into it, and he was like, I did character research, I took elements from the comics, and I took elements from a character that I wanted to build, and I put them in there. With Grant Gustin's Flash, I think he went very, very severely into, I'm going to be the Flash, CWI's it, but I'm going to be the Flash. Whereas Ezra Miller was like, I'm going to be the Flash, but I'm quirky. Do you know what I mean?
There's obviously people who were who didn't like the version, and then there's people who was this version of Flash is like this, or he's on the spectrum, or do you know what I mean? These different different abilities / disabilities, but he's always, because it was obvious that when there was that scene where, let's say we're comparing the two Flashes, the scene where he saves Wonder Woman, but he falls to the point where his face is in between if Barry Allen's Flash would have kind of been I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, honestly I didn't, I'm sorry, whereas Ezra Miller was just bam, off, silence, can't make eye contact, it's do you know what I mean? And I like the juxtaposition between.
I like the fact that there are two versions, but again, I disagree a little bit because they are both playing Barry Allen.
Yeah, that's fair. But at the same time, bro, we've seen Barry Allen Earth Prime and Barry Allen Earth 90, and they are very different people.
But the movies, right? So the reason I think you can really justify this is because of what happened in Crisis. Imagine Crisis never happened, and they both think their Earth is Earth Prime.
Right.
They are both playing Barry Allen. One of them is playing Barry Allen from the comics. One of them is playing Ezra Miller, Barry Allen, and it's not a terrible thing. It's just not Barry Allen to me. He's sharp. He's funny. Don't get me wrong, he's not as funny as Wally West when Wally West is the Flash, but he's still funny. He's where Wally gets his funniness from.
And can we point out, we mean Wally West, not CW Wally West.
Yes. We mean Ginger Wally West from the comics, the one that went away and came back, and oh bro, his rebirth story was the shiz. We need to read more comics as a podcast that likes comic books. Maybe we'll do a how to start watching Rebirth video one day. How to start reading Rebirth, rather. But, yeah. I am okay. I sign on for more Ezra Miller. I sign on for it. I want to see where he takes the character, and I'm not signing him off yet. I'm not saying we need to replace him. All I'm saying is maybe if we're going to make tweaks to this universe, and if we're going to make things to this universe that are going to make the characters a bit different, make some tweaks and fix him.
Listen. We've seen the Flash
keep
in
the
two
awkwardness,
things.
but the inaccuracies I don't like.
We saw the Flash in BVS, but he comes from the future, and he's like, Lois Lane is the key. But we've seen Flash. Other than that, we've seen him twice. We've seen him in Justice League, and we've seen him in Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is another Suicide Squad film being made with no link to the original. And the only thing we've ever seen follow on from that movie is Harley Quinn, right? So because we got Birds of Prey. Whether that's going to go any further after that, I don't know. I can't imagine so, but we'll see. The only other time we've seen the Flash is in that, right? So let's just assume, obviously, Harley Quinn's had her thing, but by the looks of things, that Suicide Squad isn't going any further. That movie's not good, forgotten, right?
Yes, done.
Jared Leto isn't coming back. The only other thing we've seen the Flash is Justice League. Now, Justice League is, by the looks of things, getting forgotten for the Snyder Cut.
I think that's inaccurate. I think they are both. If Justice League is being forgotten, the Snyder Cut is being forgotten as well. I don't think the Snyder Cut will replace Justice League in the timeline. If the timeline stays put, then I think there will be two versions, and they will be aware that there are two versions, and they will take the best from both going forward.
Right. So as in, what do you mean?
So I think what they're going to do is forget them both completely. I think they're going to forget the Justice League that Zack Snyder makes, and they're going to forget the Joss Whedon failure that we already had. They're going to move forward like those films never happened. But if they do move forward and act like one of those films happened, they're not going to act like Joss Whedon's happened, and they're not going to happen like Zack Snyder's happened. They're going to act like the event happened, and you decide which Justice League you like better.
Right, okay. Well, what I was going to say when I was talking about maybe one of them being forgotten was, if in the Snyder Cut they make the Flash as lightning orange, they tweak things, they make the Flash a bit different.
Yeah.
Then we can go forward with this new Flash. And then if we were saying that the Justice League is the canon one, then obviously, Suicide Squad's out of the picture. The only time we can class of seeing Flash in this main timeline is Snyder Cut, which, would not contain Orange Lightning, would contain these differences that make him more like Barry Allen. I
would argue, because I don't think the way they've designed this character is good for Orange Lightning either, though. Like, he makes, lightning crackles, and basically, with the CW Flash, he runs, lightning happens behind and around him. When we see the movie Flash, he disappears, and then we cut to him running, where there is lightning everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? I think that needs to change. I think no matter what colour they keep it, have lightning everywhere, but it needs to be emanating from his body.
Yeah. It kind of just makes it look like he's constantly running through the Speed Force as opposed to...
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking as well. And, don't get me wrong, the way they get through time and through the Speed Force in the CW show is very much like, we're going into Warp 5 in Star Trek. But, I think... they need to change some fundamental things about that.
This is the thing with the Flash. The Flash CW show, the running isn't bad... But especially with, I think it's definitely improved in Season 6. But the way Nora ran, it's as if her arms weren't at the side of her. It's as if her arms were in front of her.
Yeah.
Which just looked trash. And, the way the Flash is doing it now, as in Barry Allen, he looks a bit better, but he still doesn't look like he's running. His arms still seem to be going too high. Ezra Miller, you can kind of see the concept of him running. You can see the momentum in his body, but he's very loose and very...
Mate, the way he runs gives me anxiety. No one runs like that. Why is the fastest man alive running like he's never walked before?
But I don't mind it in the aspect of it kind of looks like because he's so air resistant and he's going through the air at this speed, he's kind of just leaping through the air, which I guess makes sense, but...
Bro, he runs like he's the Joker in those clown shoes in the Joker film. He runs. I don't know. I guess I get what you're trying to say, but I don't see that. I just see him running funny. He runs awfully.
I'm watching
the thing about the CW show is they're trying to give you the illusion that he's running when he's not running, which is fine because they're giving you the illusion that he's trying to run, and they do that successfully. Because even if you're not in the illusion that he is running that fast, you're in the illusion that he's trying to run.
Yeah.
Bro, when you look at the way Ezra Miller moves, he's not running, bro. He's playing Blade. What is going on?
See, look, right, I'm looking at it now. So basically, the scene where he's running in order to, like let's say, ignite the box, like the black cube that goes into the water.
Box.
That doesn't look as bad. Also, when he's running and kind of racing Superman, it's not that official race like in the post-credit scene, but like kind of when they're running together to save people, that doesn't look that bad at first. Like, you can kind of see him running. By the time Superman catches up with him, it looks bad. And then also at the end of the movie when he's like running and kind of like running through the city, then again it's just complete ragdoll again.
Yeah, it's like he said in an interview that it was because Ezra Miller's Flash doesn't know how to run like the CW Flash does, because Grant Gustin's Flash knows how to control his speed now, and Ezra Miller still doesn't.
Yeah,
right?
But we've never seen fucking Grant Gustin run like that.
But that's what I mean, right? And I think that's a poor excuse, because even if you're taking that stylistic choice that he doesn't know how to control his speed, the speed doesn't have anything to do with the form of your body. Why are you crouched down to the floor sometimes? Why are you running, but it looks like you're rollerblading? It doesn't... Like, it's just inconsistent.
Air resistant-wise, I get it. But Barry shouldn't be worrying about that, because it's the speed force that carries him and not...
Yeah, that's the reason.
Physics.
Like, yeah. I think we need to get off Justice League, but like, just the thing that
we need a Flash.
Ray Fisher said nice things. He said, "I know they appreciate it beyond all measure. It means a lot." And I was like, "Bro, Ray Fisher, what a great guy! Thanks for putting that video out there." Cool stuff in the future. Green Lantern, Darkseid, and Martian Manhunter may appear in the Justice League Snyder Cut, so that is cool stuff. Very good news if we do get that. And also we're aware how it's coming out now. It's coming out in, I believe, July of next year. I'm not sure on that, don't quote me, but it's definitely coming out on HBO Max.
Solidity at its finest.
Yes. Just to wrap up everything we said there without the complaints we had.
Yeah.
Any more news from you?
So I have a tiny bit of news. So it was always kind of speculated, but it has been confirmed that Bill Murray is confirmed to be playing Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, I always assumed that they were like, oh, my grandfather, blah, 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 we're going to his house and we find Ghostbusters stuff. I always, is it Egon or Ego? I think it's Egon, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I always assumed that was their grandfather, and I think that's true. I think it is. Obviously, he's the only of the original cast who's passed away. Yeah. I think that's confirmed, but I always thought that was true anyway. That was a theory of mine. It has been confirmed, because obviously we had the 2016 movie, which was a complete reboot, and Bill Murray and all these other characters. Bill Murray. And all these other characters.
Do you ever leave the studio, Bill Murray?
And they were kind of just different characters. But I think this is confirmed for him to be Peter Venkman, along with maybe other ones that are coming back. But something I wanted to discuss was, obviously, it's going to be the younger people. It's going to be like Finn Wolfhard and everything, who's going to be doing the ghost busting.
Yes. The traditional sequel reboot of making the cast younger and more diverse.
Yeah, and more youthful. And, bro, imagine, yeah. Obviously, it's not cat suit yet, but imagine Finn Wolfhard just got his regular clothes on. He's like, oh my god, there's a ghost. He just pulls off. He just got like, a Ghostbusters jumpsuit on. Like, he's got a jumpsuit under his clothes. No. But something that I thought was really interesting is, so in the original Ghostbusters 3, the one that was going to come out, or like, it was thought of, back in the 80s, 90s, was that Venkman would have actually died in that film. Obviously, that movie never happened, and the 2016 movie is not canon, but this Ghostbusters Afterlife is. It is technically the Ghostbusters 3. So, that being said, do you think they're going to follow up on that? Because I don't think I'd like them to. I don't think I'd want them to, just because...
I don't think they're going to kill him off.
I'd like the idea of them just retiring for good, as opposed to You know, because I feel like if he does die, in this epic
you're not
ghost
gonna like
battle-
my hot take on this.
I might know. Well, I'll just say this: if he's gonna be if he were to die in like this big epic ghost battle, I'd feel like we're not getting the story of these. Like, as much as I want to see them back doing their things, right? Like, I got the 2 Ghostbusters Blu-rays next to me, right? I love Ghostbusters. But
Yeah.
I would like to see them maybe come back, give a pep talk, maybe try and show them how some stuff works, maybe, I don't know. Or like have some scene, you know, because we get in the trailer, like them driving the car, then be like, I believe you've been joyriding our car, and it's just like the 3 Ghostbusters. But
Right.
I do not want them to be a big part in terms of, you know, defeating ghosts.
Maybe you want the new story, so there's hope for the series.
Not
beyond
only
just
that,
those 3.
not only that, just there's no point in being like, oh, it's Ghostbusters again, but with these new people, and Paul Rudd looks like he's gonna do a great job, right? So like, I want to see if they're giving us this new cast, this new generation. I want to see that new generation. I don't want to be like new people, but the old people are gonna sort it out. Just nobody...
Okay, so you might like my hot take then.
Okay.
I think Bill Murray is going to be in this film. I think that he's going to already be dead, and he's one of the ghosts they come across.
Do you know?
I do. And they get their guidance from him at some point. They get this really good guidance on how to capture these ghosts that are escaping. And then maybe one of the emotional climaxes of the film is that now it's his time
To be caught.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, see, I don't mind that idea. Personally, like, Egon, they have to be like, okay, he's
passed
away, because obviously it was their grandfather that died, but also the actor has passed away.
Yeah.
I feel like saying that he's passed away is a great, like, kind of, like, respect thing, but also kind of homage to be like, yeah, he has passed away, but now we're going to use him. He will live on because these are the character's grandkids, right?
Yeah.
That also being said, I would not want them to bring back a version of him as a ghost, because then they kind of got to do facial change and everything, and you know they gotta.
But
make
I
a
think
CG
with
version.
like the type of ghosts you get in Ghostbusters, it wouldn't be too bad, because you can make them like quite hollow, quite like not really opaque.
You need to be able to make out that it's him though. You need to be able to make. Is that what they're just in the massive editing suites that they have, and they're just like, "I mate, press T." Turn it down to about 50. There we are.
Bro, they put Avid aside. They ring up the VFX studio. Right, guys, can you just send us the footage? Yeah, no, it's fine. No, we're not using Avid. No. Oh, yeah, no, we're just using Adobe After Effects. Yeah.
No, bro,
yeah.
not even
if you
that.
Could just send the one file without the green screen, and then with the green screen, we'll do it ourselves, we'll key it ourselves, and then we're just going to turn the opacity down.
They're just like, no, guys, this is so much cheaper, right? I seen this ad, on Facebook, and there was like these mad people doing like mad effects in this editing software called Filmora or whatever, or like Power Director, and like it looks good. Like this is some top notch stuff. Like this, because you know it's just they just get like corridors videos and just be like, yeah, we made that in this app. And like,
bro,
we saw this sick thing, so we're gonna make the entirety of Ghostbusters in this, and it'll work.
Yeah. They're gonna download wemakeyourfilm.com and it's an app. It's called .com, but it's an app. Oh yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, just turn the opacity down. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I'd like that though. I'd like to see Bill as a ghost. He's been a zombie in Zombieland, so let him be a ghost.
But again,
Ghostbusters.
obviously he was the kind of the big name that the movie had back in the day, but I just don't want... If we're getting new characters, then I want all of the old characters to be respected in the same light, in that they're both as important as them all. Because obviously, you watch the Ghostbusters trailer, you know, that film came out, in the 80s? You know, it's very evident that there was 3 specific type of Ghostbusters on the poster, and the 4th one was left out. Granted, he joined later on, but whether in the 80s that was the reason for the marketing, you know, we might have to double guess. But I want the 3 Ghostbusters that are still with us. I forget their names, the other 2. Because in the 2019, in the 2016
so
one.
one of them is so with Ghostbusters we've got what's the one that does vodka? Dan Aykroyd.
Dan
So,
Aykroyd, and then the
you
other
see-
one, Harold Ramis is Egon, and then we have Ernie Hudson, who's Winston. So, so
Yeah.
in the 2016 one, we had Dan Aykroyd. He was like a cab driver, and he was trying to be like, oh, they were like, you gotta go this ghost. He was like, I've seen this. I ain't afraid of no ghost. And then like he like, keeps driving forward, which is really cool. And then Winston was actually, well, not Winston, but Ernie Hudson. He was, I forget her name, but the woman, what's her name? Patsy, is it? Or Patty? Like, it was, she was like, oh, my father owns a funeral company, but she has, she's the one who works, like, on the train station.
It's escaping me. I don't know. I know
Fine.
Dana.
Leslie
Or
Jones.
Dana,
She
sorry.
plays Patty Tolan. She's like
Right,
their
okay.
version of the fourth Ghostbuster that joined. So he played her dad. And he came to pick up the
okay.
car, and she was like, the car's destroyed. And he's like, oh no. And obviously Bill Murray played like the landlord guy, or whatever it was, that died.
Yeah.
But yeah, we...
Do you think we will get Rick Moranis? He's
This
not
is the
been
thing.
in things for a while.
This is the
I'm pretty
thing.
Sure.
Bill Murray has supposedly said things along the lines of the fact that two characters that are greatly missed is Harold Ramis and Rick Moranis. But I was like, I immediately thought he was dead. I was like, is Rick Moranis dead? And I checked, and I was like, no, he's still about. He's still shrinking kids.
Yeah, he's still shrinking kids.
But he played was it Louis or Lewis or
yeah, Louis. Oh,
Louis Talley, something like that.
Yeah.
And he I don't know, I just used to see something that they were the characters that were greatly missed, but I don't know, did he die in Ghostbusters 2 or Ghostbusters 1 or like...
Oh yeah, he might have died in one of the Ghostbusters films.
Do you think so? I can't remember Zero. But like that's the thing,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
can't remember either.
there's so many. And also can I just say, Bill Murray, right? A man who to no denial of him, he is 69 years of age, right? Going on 70.
Yes.
And his character back in the 80s was called Peter. Finn Wolfhard, on the other hand, who's about, say, 17, 18, his character's name is Trevor.
Yes.
That's like the whole Ian conversation we had with with Onward. Like, we got a character called Peter, who was, from the 80s. And Peter's
Yeah.
still like a very kind of, modern name. And then we got Trevor for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, it's
Don't
one
know
of those things
what the
that I
thought
think
process was
that
there.
either Hollywood thinks that those names are coming back into fashion or something, or like they're just like blissfully like, yeah, these are normal names.
Maybe. I don't have nothing against the names, but it's I mean, with these characters now, I don't know why he's greatly missed. I can't remember. Maybe he did die in one of the films. I'll look it up.
You must have. You must have done. I don't think I watched all of the female Ghostbusters film. I don't think I sat through it all. No attachment to the film, but I believe it was on, and I was over my partner's house. And
It's
yeah.
Tully. I do apologise, not Tully.
Louis Tully, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Louis Tully is an accountant who lived down the hall from Dana Barrett in an apartment building on Central Park West. 5 years later, he became the Ghostbusters accountant. Louis was a resident of blah 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 blah. Supernatural history of the building. One night, Louis was hosting a party in honor of his 4th anniversary as an accountant. At the time, the terror dogs blah 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 had escaped their status.
I can't remember anyone dying in the Ghostbusters.
The dogs
universe.
possessed him.
Yeah.
Did he die though?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Sure. Let's just. I forgot. So let's just say he didn't. I don't know why he's greatly missed. Maybe it's just because he's not coming back. They're just gonna say the character's dead. I don't know.
Yeah, kill him off.
Yeah.
Get him gone. Yeah. But that's exciting. I do like the idea of them coming back. Ernie Hudson's supposed to be coming back for it also, so that's gonna be good.
I think the main three are coming back.
Yeah. I don't know with Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd's a bit of a in the nicest way possible nut job.
Bro, he came back in 2016, right? Okay. If he's gonna come back for that, then
yeah.
Granted, he had the smallest cameo, but he was probably one of the best.
Yeah, he
Like-
makes vodka now with like fake diamonds and stuff. I don't know. It's
Nice.
He's got a weird life living on, and he does believe, like, he's the type of person that it's like, oh yeah, I was in Ghostbusters, but now I believe in ghosts. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, dude, you do that. And he's like, oh no, ghosts are real, and so are aliens, and you should be afraid. I'm like, okay, dude, I'll give you a word for it. But hey, it's Dan Aykroyd. He's a legend. You know what I mean? He's a legend. He's given so much.
So now I feel as if we should go into the what we watched. So this week it was very fun because it's something that Joel has seen, but I haven't.
Yeah.
And he was excited to indulge me, and it's something that I've been trying to watch, but I've never really been able to get into. But this was a good opportunity, and I'm very glad I got into it. To be frank.
Yeah. So we made him watch. Was it the first 3 or first 4
first
episodes
4,
of Rick
I
and
think
Morty?
we watched.
Yeah. And like some of them are my favorite. I really like the pilot, as everyone does. But yeah, the Inception episode is like one of my all-time favorite episodes of Rick and Morty, and I got to watch that.
I
with
like the
Nathan.
I like the dream one, and I like the
Yeah.
Christmas one as well.
Oh yeah, the Anatomy Park one. Yeah. I think it was good to watch it with you again because the storyline is more of a storyline later on in like season 3, and there's like connecting episodes. Whereas though the first season is very like monster of the week type of
and
thing.
like kind of like their own kind of stand up type of
Yeah. So it's it was nice to watch that again and just sort of realize, oh yeah, Rick and Morty, because season 4's been a lot like that as well recently, which is the most recent season. Just comparing the two and thinking, oh right, yeah, this is how Rick and Morty started off, instead of expecting what season 3 did, which is to like intertwine each episode.
But it's also like it's hard to see things like, for example, South Park and Family Guy, because over the years they've definitely had to kind of tone down what they can say, and stuff like that, and like what topics they can talk about. Whereas Rick and Morty, I was saying to you, I was like,
Yeah.
did they just how are they allowed to say that? Have they just aired this with no checks? Like,
yeah,
like
so it's because it's on Adult Swim, and Adult Swim has had some raunchy shit over the years, like less so because right, South Park less so because they didn't really get monitored that much apart from the religion stuff, but like you're right, like the Family Guys and stuff have been toned down, but like on Adult Swim, Robot Chicken was never really toned down. So it was like when Rick and Morty was going for a place to be on, it was quite clear that it was going to go to Adult Swim because one, they released cartoons made for adults on there, and also they said whatever they want. Like there's in one of the most recent episodes in Rick and Morty, like season 4, they say something like "Let's Pearl Harbor this bitch" or something like that.
I'm pretty sure that was in. I don't know. I'm not sure actually. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that was in season. It might be. Actually, I don't know. Have you already told me that? That's standing out to me so much. That's
I may have already.
I was
told
gonna
you
say
that.
that's sticking out. Like I've heard someone say that recently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was news stories on it because basically they say that, and then they go to these like two twin towers,
Right.
and, like on an alien world, right? And they're in a spaceship, and it's like they like literally go past. They're destroying everything around it, but then they go past these twin towers, and they're like, "Nah, that's too cheap." Like,
Can I
not gonna
just
make that
point
joke.
out, even though we do not yet have the fan base to be monetized, we are so demonetized right now. No,
Beyond that, we're
was-
YouTube's got like blacklisting us. We're never gonna get enough fans.
yeah. No, but honestly, like, there was so many things. Like, there was jokes that were meant to be like over the top, which I was like, oh, that's funny. But then there was subtle jokes that were like the best. Thing, like, Superman.
They're going into the closet.
Yeah.
That's so good. I'm expecting everyone who listens to this has watched at least the first 3-4 episodes of Rick and Morty. So, that's fine. Is this something you'll carry on with?
I definitely think so. Like, I've been struggling to watch things recently just due to either how much like editing I've been doing or whatever. Like, I have a big list of things to watch. Like, I've got to watch Raiders, then I've got to watch Scarface, then Matrix, and then Citizen Kane. That's a list I currently have. And then Extraction's on there as well that people have said I should watch that. There's a lot of things I've got to watch.
Citizen Kane's a really interesting one to watch as like a film student.
Yeah, I've seen things of that where it's like it's the first thing where they showed the ceiling because they weren't on a film set. They were in actual buildings. It was the first time there was a wide shot that showed like actual landscape. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
the first time, not the first time, but one of the first times a matte painting was used in order to put someone in a larger area.
Yeah, so I've seen one thing where they basically drew like an audience out and put little slits in the audience's head and things and moved a light behind it so it looked like they were moving.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
I've seen that as well. So like that's something we'll probably when we're in like university classes we'll probably watch it again just for literally exactly what we're saying
that's
now.
The thing. The first 4 I just said, so Raiders of the Lost Ark, Scarface, Matrix, and Citizen Kane, they're all on my 100 movie bucket list as well. So, like, just for myself as well, I gotta watch them. Because I was on a roll, I started watching a lot of them, and then I kind of started working more and, like, doing more, like, for film form and stuff like that, so I just lost
you've
time.
got an upload schedule now, so that's going to be a positive thing. Like, you working on more stuff, pumping out more content is going to, like, propel you. I saw congratulations on 1,900 subscribers. That's nearly 2K.
As of this morning, I think it was 906. So,
nice.
94 subbers to go.
Until 2K, which is cool. That's a big milestone. Especially since the growth is, natural growth, which, the larger you get, the more natural growth you'll get because it's going to be shared to more people. So, once you get that 2K...
It's like, when I first released Spider-Man, it was like, I was sat in the car with my grandpa, he was taking me up from school, and he was just sat there, he was like, oh, it's doing good, isn't it? He was on like 3,000 views at the time, and he was like, and the more views he'll get, the more views he'll get on top of that. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He was like, well, people see a film with 3,000 views, they'll be like, that must be good. And then it'll get like 7,000 views. And people will be like, what, a film with 7,000 views? Oh, that'll be good. Then I'll get to 10,000 and I'll keep going. And I was like, that's probably the most like legit thing you've said in a while.
Yeah.
Like, that was some real stuff right there.
Isn't it weird when like your grandparents will drop some technical knowledge on you or something like that? Yeah, you'll be like, "Wow, that was surprisingly accurate."
Yeah,
like
you can't change your HDMI lead.
Yeah, yeah. How come you don't get what an Ethernet cable is? but
you just dropped that on me as if you created Microsoft.
you just fucking told me the YouTube algorithm as if you programmed it yourself. I'm looking forward to the future of film form, especially because film form's biggest and largest partner is about to hit the game, JP Lee. We're about to start filming our first video as JP Lee Productions, which is just going to be me, and I'm JP Lee, so that makes sense. But I'm going to have bigger productions and stuff for my videos later on, but I've decided on the style and format of my channel. I would like to make cinematic vlogs that are fake. I want to make like sort of talking head videos, but like even more than that, but just every thing, every video that I make, I want to make it like a cinematic adventure.
Yeah.
Which is like, obviously I'm going to need a lot of help with that after we get out with quarantine, which is great because Meteorite Media is a large collaborator of mine already.
And for the record, Meteorite
here.
Media is something I also co-own with Morgan and Sam. It is
Yeah.
It is the actual production / paid side of film form, let's say. It's not even part of film form, it just works under it.
Yeah, so it's, I'm gonna get some you boys to help me out with that, but yeah, it's gonna be weird acting again for the first time because viewers may not know, but I did quite a bit of acting when I was younger. So I'm gonna be acting in my own videos. I'll be playing sort of a character, but me. Realistically, it's gonna be me. But it'll be like a characterized version of myself, and maybe there might be more than one of me. You never know. But yeah, so with Rick and Morty, this is super duper old for me at this point, but it's brand new to Nathan, and it holds up, and I can tell it holds up because, like, Nathan was viewing it for the first time and stuff, and like the jokes still land. They're not like culturally, they don't make standardized jokes for the time that they're in.
Yeah,
they're like jokes that like stand on their own.
Well, something I want to talk about is you said that it originated from something called Doc and Marty, which is like a spoof of Back to the Future or something.
Yes, yeah, it did.
So what was that about? So was that just like the original concept? Like, because I know Fairy Odd Parents was a show called Fairy Godparents or something, and they were like, change it a bit, and then Nickelodeon will take it.
Yeah. Spiff it up a bit. So Justin Roiland's career started at really weird ways. But one of his like first things that he ever did, I think it was like his second official project that he was trying to like sell and pitch to studios and stuff, was like a passion project of his. But like he didn't originally try to sell it to studios, I think, if I'm remembering that correct. But it was just a thing of like a Back to the Future spoof called Doc and Marty. But Marty was spelt with a H or whatever. It was like MHARTY or TI rather. And it was just a really shitty, crappy, offensive version of Back to the Future. And it was great because it basically had Justin Roiland playing both voices because, again, I'm pretty sure he animated it. He was the voices. He did like everything basically.
Yeah.
Or if he didn't do everything, like he had his friends do it for him because he's no damn. Yeah, JP Lee. Here we go. Man, I'm the next Justin. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. But yeah. So he created that, and it was very funny, and I think it was the basis of Rick and Morty. So this weird offensive version, you can tell it really jump started Rick and Morty because the people that worked on it, I'm pretty sure, were still Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, because they've been friends for a long time, and they did like this weird adventures thing together in Justin Roiland's apartment, like a live action series before that.
Yeah.
But like they worked on it, and Justin Roiland was doing Doc and Marty in basically the same voices that we have now for Rick and Morty.
Right.
And also the names are the same. Like the names are pretty much the same. But I think it was a big gap between Doc and Marty and Rick and Morty. I think Justin Roiland made like more of a catalogue since then. Like he made the Cosbys and he made like a bunch of other stuff, and Dan Harmon went off on to make a bunch of other stuff as well. And when they were a little bit more successful in their career, I think they used something from the early stages in their career, like Doc and Marty, to pitch to Adult Swim, and they were like, let's make this into whatever you want to make it to. But this is not the pilot, but this is like the idea. Say we would have like an animated show, and we'd make a pilot, and then we'd pitch it to studios and be like, this is the pilot. We'd like to either release this pilot and make more episodes, or we'd like to make episodes based around this pilot. That's what they did, except they were like, scrap Doc and Marty. We want to make Rick and Morty, but Doc and Marty is just like the storyboard.
Yeah, so it's like
this was the original concept. We want to make a new concept based on this.
Yeah.
And then that's how it got picked up. But Doc and Marty's really funny, like really really funny to watch. And interestingly enough, Rick and Morty now has a parody show based on it.
Right, does it?
Yeah, called Bushworld Adventures.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be something like, I don't know, like Dick and sub. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was still going to be something on something. But okay, that's more acceptable then.
No, it's Bushworld Adventures, and it's on Adult Swim.
Right.
It was like an April Fool's joke for like 2018, and it was based on Rick and Morty. And I believe they've made more of it, like more episodes. I'm not sure, but it was like I think the show Bushworld there's like a show that it was actually a part of. I'm not sure the whole backstory of it, but there was Bushworld Adventures, and they had Reek and Morty or something like that.
Right.
And yeah, it was like an
Morty.
Australian version of them.
I mean, oh yeah, of course, Meek. I'm Korg. This is Meek. We're kind of like the bosses around here.
Yeah. But yeah, there was just a Bushworld Adventures Rick and Morty parody, which is funny because obviously Rick and Morty is a parody in itself.
Yeah, bro, it's like a parody, and then it's like a fourth wall break instead of a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
That's like 16
Even though
walls.
It's not how it works at all, but okay.
Yeah, you don't times it by 2. Well, who knows?
It's baffling to me how many people didn't know. Like, I had to explain to Morgan, he was like, I explained why that wasn't like regular. He was like, well, no, because 4 times 4 is 6. I was like, yeah, bro, but fourth wall means on a set, there's the left wall, the right wall, the back wall, and there's no front wall because that's where the cameras are, and that's where, you know, that's
the fourth wall.
Yeah, and he was like, oh my god, and it is. I was like, yeah, and the amount of people I've told that to since, just because of the joke made in Deadpool, like,
yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, if anything, it would be like, because a fourth wall break doesn't actually, you know, it just means you've broken the fourth wall in some way, but the actual technique that you see utilized within fourth wall breaking is called direct address, which is when they speak directly to the audience.
Well, that's the thing. It just got its name from, again, Citizen Kane was the first real thing to not be filmed on, like, a set. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, before it was just the 3 walls, and then... It's like in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they did both. They did fourth wall and direct acknowledgement, because they were like... He was like, we're so rich, we don't even have a ceiling, and you pan up, and it's just all the lights on the set. Yeah. So it's like, it's fourth wall acknowledging it's a set, but it's also him, you know, talking to him.
Yeah, that's... I love that so much. But Rick and Morty does that a little bit. Rick and Morty does a bit of the fourth wall breaking. They do a lot of, like, analysis on the world, and, like, there's a lot of things, the more you watch Rick and Morty, the more you realise that, you know, Rick thinks that, like, a lot of things are futile, and that, like, he has a really broad outlook on life. He's like, why care about this? Why care about that? Like, you know, just live your life, do whatever you want to do, and if things are getting in your way, then those things need to be removed from your way, because what is the futility of life? Why is that person's life better than your person's life? Stuff like that. It's like he's basically a really flawed genius, because he's like, I'll do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. And it's like all his explanations to Morty, even though they seem to the audience like, oh my god, this guy's so smart. Yeah, of course it's like that. Realistically, that's not what it is. He's not being smart. He's just giving a justification to Morty, so Morty doesn't think he's a monster. Or rather, not even so he doesn't think he's a monster. It's actually to just shut Morty up so he'll do what he wants. Like, but people are like the toxic version of this fan base, which you probably heard about in the news, like the Szechuan sauce things. They genuinely take Rick's ideals on board, even though he's quite clearly a flawed character. And they're like, yeah, he's right. And it's like, I turned myself into a pickle, Morty, and everyone's like, oh my god, that's so fucking cool. But in that episode, it's like, there's stuff going on. You'll just have to watch that out. I think that's one of the episodes that maybe we'll have another chat about.
It's insane how much I see, like, because obviously it's a joke, but like I seen something today and it was like, oh, just a quick question. Did Bulk and Skull ever find out the Power Rangers' identity? And the first comment was like, nah, man, they turned themselves into a pickle. It was hilarious.
Oh, bro.
And it was like...
that meme is just overused.
Exactly, and I just see it, like, everywhere, and I'm like, am I going to find it out? Am I actually going to find it as funny now? Like, when I see it?
No, because basically, I saw the animatic before the episode came out because we were waiting for that season for a while. And one of the things they did to, like, say, hey, you know, I know you guys are waiting for the season, but here's like a short little clip, is they released the uncolored sketch version of the animatic of just him being a pickle. And like, it's, I'm not gonna tell you anything. It's a very funny episode, but the memes that spawned from it are the popular thing.
Right.
Like, it's just a Rick and Morty episode. But because of all the hype from the animatic, they were like, oh my god, there's an episode where he turns himself into a fucking pickle. And then, like, the episode actually aired and stuff, and everyone was like, this is a hilarious episode. But because there was so much hype around it for the first thing, that's sort of what spawned the memes and the hype.
Yeah.
But it is quite funny when you just see it all of a sudden he shouts at Morty, I turned myself into a pickle, Morty. It's just like, why have you done this?
But I've seen it everywhere. It's like, did Joker actually end up going to prison in the Dark Knight, or did he die, or what happened to him? He's like, nah, bro, he turned himself into a pickle. It was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
It always has. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Where it's like, you would have loved it. And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really good show. Do you want to speak about like funny moments from the episode? Episodes that we watched. What's the first one?
There was a few. So there was one in the like kind of the Inception episode where.
Oh, do it episode by episode because that might make it easier.
I don't remember what happened to the first episode. I don't think.
It's the pilot with the seeds.
I know it was the pilot. Oh, right, okay. So,
yeah.
I liked how...
Did you just go, I know it was the pilot because it was the first episode?
It's like you have to explain that to me. Just the one where he was like, walk down this thing and he falls off the cliff and break his legs and he walks down and he's like, yeah, you had to turn it on, Morty. See, I just walked down, you're fine, you know, I'm good. See, all I had to do was turn it on. See, I walked down with no issue, but now you're lying here, you've broken your legs, you didn't turn it on, Morty. All you had to do was turn them on. You know? And then Rick goes through a portal to try and get like something to fix his legs and he's just lying there like, I
do love that point. The funniest moment in that episode for me is shoot them, Morty, they're robots, and he shoots one and he's bleeding and he's like, tell my family I love it. He goes, they're not robots, Rick. He was like, it's a metaphor, Morty, they're bureaucrats, I don't respect them.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fair play. Fair play.
That was great, bro.
That's my funny part of that episode. What's the second episode is?
The Inception one, isn't it? Or no?
Yes, Lawnmower Dog. I think that's the second episode. Yeah.
So, like, I in that episode, what I adored was the fact that Rick was dressed the entire episode, like every now and again, Rick would just explain why Inception's not a good film, and then
it's not even that. It's not even that. It's like you don't have to pretend to understand it, Morty. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And he was like, does that mean that it can't be my favorite movie or something like that? And he's like, no, Morty, you can, but just know it's a bad movie or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, just against it at all times. And then just the fact that one guy can just hop between dreams, so they go into his dream. And then befriend him, and then he's going through helping him out.
So my funniest moment of that one, I'll give you two because it's during that guy's little arc, Scary Terry. Obviously he's a rip-off of Freddy Krueger, right? He's got swords for hands instead of like miniature swords for hands instead of knives. But my favorite part is one, you can run but you can't hide, bitch. And then they hide and he's like, oh, you can't hide. Like,
and he's just like, oh, I guess we can hide. Yeah, Morty, and the worst case scenario is that we just start running again.
Yeah, we're back to running. And worst case scenario, we're back to running. And like, and Morty's like, think about it. Realistically, if we couldn't hide, would he really tell us that? And then my second favorite is out there, not in here, not in front of Scary Brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was dying at that. What was your favorite part of that episode? Is this the funniest bit? Is it like when they go inside his dream?
Yeah, but something I like as well is when the dog is progressively like getting smarter.
Yeah,
that is the right episode, isn't it? And then,
yeah.
He's like, by the end of it, he's like, okay, Snowflake. He's like, no, you can call me Snuffles.
You can call me Snuffles, yeah. No, that is... I want to say, just because there's so many parts of this, there's the Inception part, and then there's the dog part of it. I love... The funniest stuff from the dog part is the, where are my testicles, Summer?
Yeah.
That, and like the...
Well, look, because they make a point earlier in the episode to show him licking his behind, and you can see the stitches.
Yeah, like, oh. Yeah. I love that bit, and... yeah, and the other thing is that you don't know me.
Bro, yeah.
Mrs. Pancakes.
Just when they're on the plane, oh my god. That's what I was on about when I was saying the things they got away with.
Oh, yeah, truly. Alright, do you want to move on to Anatomy Park as an episode?
Oh, just the fact... There's a few things in this episode, but just the fact that Rick casually walks in with that old guy as Santa. He's like, oh, we do this every year, it's fine. And like, I thought that was just a one-time joke of the episode. And then he calmly pulls Morty aside, and they get to the garage and like, he's dying, Morty, he's dying.
Yeah, the sharp contrast. You see him walking towards the garage, and it's like, oh, okay, he's just, walking towards the garage, and it's still calm. And then as soon as you see them walk through the garage door while the guy's on the table, he's like, he's dying, Morty, he's dying, in the sharp contrast.
And then, of course...
I do love that.
Of course, there's the whole, yes, I watched him from the closet. Always.
Oh.
100% of the time, just as Superman, and then later on they start kissing, you see him back into the closet, rips his shirt open, and there's a Superman
and a Superman logo. That's the funniest thing in the episode for me, is the Superman closet stuff. I say the other stuff that is the one that's like, I think it's hepatitis C or something. And he's like, it's hepatitis C, no! And then he's like, and then they don't get attacked by him. He just like
saves them.
Fights off saves them. And it's just like, oh, I guess just people with hepatitis, I guess he's just a nice guy. I guess they're like that. It's so funny. I like the Anatomy Park one, but it's like the funniest jokes are the stuff that you see like outside of the park, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I liked the kind of I forgot what he was. He was like the blue guy, and he's like the leader.
Oh, the
and, like,
doctor.
He finds out
yeah.
that the train was could do autopilot, and he was like, "Oh no, I could come back." Okay. Oh wait, okay. I wanted to be sacrificed anyway. Just kind of crying to himself.
Oh, I did love that. Yeah, he was good. He was like another one of those voice actors that like you can just fucking tell that you know them from somewhere. Yeah, it's a great episode. I think my favorite part of it is when they make the guy massive and they just explode him over Earth. Yeah,
it's all right. It's raining blood and guts, but we're all right.
Everything's gonna be fine. Yeah. Okay, and the last one we watched, I remember we did watch this one together.
Episode 4, there's a lot of good stuff. There's one thing I'll say about it, right? The one bit that I really found hilarious is when there's that guy who just, every time he says yes, he does a little finger click. And he's like, my idea was stolen. Yes. It's like, oh, you should probably fire me. Yes. Actually, you know what? No, you should. If anything, I should get a promotion. Yes. Wait, really? Yes. And then it's like, and I should do this. Yes. And then like once he leaves, he keeps doing that, and once he leaves, he just glitches into the table.
I love the fact that even though he was just like obviously bugging out and he was just saying yes, I love the fact that the simulation then genuinely gives him an award, and he's got this award in his hand.
Yeah.
Like just from making that a reality from a buggy person.
Yeah.
Bro. My favorite part of this episode is the fact that as me and Nathan have this very weird relationship with the film Alvin and the Chipmunks because we love it. The main villain of this episode is played by none other than Uncle Ian, David himself. Yeah, I love that. Just his voice so recognizable. I was like,
I love that running joke
this
as well. That's like, I can't remember what it was. It's either like butt hair removal or something, or like it's butthole waxing or something.
Butthole Flat production.
Yeah, and the assistant just keeps going like, so do you want me to move up your appointment for the? And then he's like, no, that's not even happening. Actually, move it up if you can. Yeah,
move it up.
If you hear an Uncle Ian say it.
I like the reveal at the end. That's one of my favorite things. That the one that Morty actually was a simulation, and it was just a good one. And 2, that Rick doesn't give them the recipe for dark matter. He just gives them the recipe for a bomb and blows their spaceship up. Yeah. So I really like that. But funniest parts of those episodes were probably the Jerry stuff, I think.
Yeah.
I will say I love all the Jerry stuff in that episode. I just think the ebbs and flow of him ruining his own life and then, going for something that would just quite obviously not work in the real world, but then him gaining that respect back for himself and stuff.
I love I can't remember what episode it was, but like when he goes in to see his wife doing the heart surgery on a horse. And he keeps going,
yeah,
we're losing him. And she's like, I know when we're losing him, Frank, because the thing
I
beeps.
can hear the beeps. Yeah. I think that's the first episode.
Is it?
Yeah, because he wants to put Rick in a retirement home. Yeah. It's before Rick tricks them and he's like, Morty's a genius because the seeds dissolve in his ass.
Yeah, and he's paralysed for like 3 days.
Yeah, he's like, you're an idiot, Morty. It was all a lie. I was like, that's what, like, you'll see that again. You know that thing where he's monologuing to Morty and he's like, he's just there like, Rick and Morty forever, all of that stuff.
Rick and Morty every day, Rick and Morty every week, Rick and Morty forever, Rick and Morty. It's like self-plug.
He does that at some point again, and like he says like he breaks the fourth wall, like because he's like Rick and Morty for 10 more seasons. He's really good. But yeah, that's a bit of a recurring joke. Like every season, he'll do like one of those things where Morty's either on the ground or scared of him or something, and he's like, "Morty, this is how it is." There's specific episodes I want to watch with you for Rick and Morty. Just because like I know you'll like them. There's one based on Guardians of the Galaxy called Vindicators 3, even though there wasn't Vindicators 2 and 1. And it's a season 3 episode. That one, the Meeseeks episode is funny, and there's another one where you meet like a bunch of characters that could be or could not be real. And there's just those. But overall, you still haven't got to an interdimensional cable episode, which is a running thing throughout Rick and Morty, which is basically they do something based on the TV, but they upgrade it into interdimensional cable, so you just get to watch really stupid TV shows that have never existed based on Rick and Morty, like sci-fi crap. So like Rick and Morty aren't basic. They are in the episode, but it's like not based around them. It's like based around the TV shows that you can watch on interdimensional cable. Like there's like one where like, everyone isn't a human, and like they're phone people, and they're using a chair to call for pizza, and they're sitting on humans.
Is it like the equivalent of watching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, watching Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and then watching Clerks?
Yeah, sort of.
They're you're just watching this batshit like.
Yeah. It's more about this interdimensional cable, but that's a really good one to watch, the interdimensional cable episodes. There's a couple. Maybe we'll come back to Rick and Morty. I think that'll be like a what we watch. We'll do every other, maybe like, I don't know, once a month for our what we watch. We'll catch up on some Rick and Morty if you want.
Yeah.
Or we can just chuck it in as a separate segment to what we watch and update the viewers on what we think on each episode.
Yeah.
But next week's what we watch, we're going to do the 2 episodes of Stargirl that are out, right?
Yes. Well, ooh.
Yeah.
Well, as of No, as of today, there's two episodes already out, which is pretty cool. So,
yeah. There'll be 3 by the time you guys watch it next week, but obviously we'll be recording it before the next episode comes out. Oh, I don't know, actually. We could record it the day after.
I mean, yeah, there's we definitely can. I mean, it will be a bit refresher as well if we watch it first and then...
Yeah.
Well, not to give any spoilers for the Film Form channel, but I am doing a certain thing next week, which means that we have to be very cautious as to what we do in terms of time.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. Other than that,
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll plan around it and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy. I'm gonna enjoy your stuff with Film Form next week. I'm gonna see how that affects us, and also how the video turns out. But that's going to be a super good thing. Well, that was all what we watched this week. We got through 4 episodes of it. We were going to do the first 3 or maybe the first season, but as we watched it together, we were like, doing the first season is a bit ridiculous because it's like 3 hours. 3.5. And we had stuff to do that day. But we'll maybe carry that on soon, and we'll slip some Rick and Morty segments into the upcoming following episodes. So we are doing either the first 2 or first 3 episodes of Stargirl next week, and there is a potential that I make him read a comic, but we might save that for the week after. But episode 5, baby, we got here.
Hey.
Successful podcast. Episode 5. It's a good thing. I love it. We're gonna keep it going on, and for anyone who joins along or is watching the catalogue of videos that we've left behind, catching up, welcome. We hope you stick around, and we're going to be reviewing and giving you the news every week.
So yeah, that's been this week's episode of Live from the Batcave. We've had a few people saying that they thought it was actually live, and for us, it is. That's our
such a cop out.
We do apologize to anyone who thinks it, but if we couldn't have the crispy voices if it was. So No. Thank you for watching. Again, next week's what we watch is Stargirl. By the time the episode's out, all 3 episodes will be out. So watch all 3 regardless. Whether we watch 3 or 2, we're not sure yet. It depends on how our schedules line up. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to share this podcast if you think you have anyone who would be interested. We're getting lots of different people coming to us saying that they enjoy the podcast, which is really good. We're having a really good reaction so far. But yes, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.